Wednesday, February 5th, 2020 meeting of the Lebanon Utility Service Board. Let the record reflect that all board members are present and that there was a working session prior and that the meeting was properly advertised. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item tonight is approval of the minutes from the January 22nd, 2020 meeting. Everyone had a chance to review those minutes? Any questions or corrections? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion we approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Dan to approve the minutes from January 22nd.
That was Jim, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Jim. To approve the minutes from January 22nd, 2020. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next item is consulting and professional service agreement. Our general manager, Ed Baskell, will address the board on this item. Hey, Ed.
Yeah, hi, good evening. Yeah, Sondhi Solutions has been doing our contracted IT services for a number of years now. They do a pretty good job for us, and we do an annual renewal with them, and we're very pleased with them. We just had a working session where they were helping us with some of our explain some of our cybersecurity and IT initiatives, and I would like to recommend that the board renew the agreement that's in the packet.
All right, thank you, Ed. Anybody have any questions for Ed about the agreement or Sondhi in general services?
I've did a little checking, and this falls within our budgeted amount. It's about $317,654 estimated annual amount. This has been budgeted for this year.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, I'll entertain a motion on item 4.
I make a motion to approve the consulting and professional services agreement with Sondhi Solutions with the general manager signing the document on the board's behalf.
Second.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Aaron to approve the consulting and professional service agreement with Sondhi Solutions. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next item is Water Wastewater Department Mower. Our Water Wastewater Manager, Ryan Ottinger, who's very comfortable at the podium, will address the board tonight.
Yeah, thank you. I was hoping that if I talked about mowing, that would speed up the winter process.
Looks like it.
Not sure, yeah, based on tonight's weather. I don't know if that's
You are
accurate.
ineffective.
Yeah, I felt pretty good about it Sunday, but it's kind of tailed down a little bit. This request is for a new zero-turn mower for the Chicago Street water plant. For the water department crew, we have a zero-turn mower at the Sugar Creek water plant that we currently transport from Sugar Creek to town to mow both water towers, one of the electric substations, and all of the property at the Chicago Street plant. So we have a lot of drive time with that mower on a trailer, which I'm not a big fan of. We also can only mow one place at a time. We do have an old garden tractor, but it's just time, it's a lot more time consuming. It's about twice as long to mow with the garden tractor as with the zero turn. So this would allow us to not only have a new mower in town that would strictly stay in town for both water towers and the Chicago Street plant and the substation, but the garden tractor would then go to Sugar Creek, and with the upgrades at the Sugar Creek well field, we acquired easement that we need to take care of with the roadway. Then we could use the older garden tractor that has already been beat up and has already got the scratches and the nicks and the bumps in it to mow in that well-filled area and at that easement to save wear and tear on a zero turn, which isn't made for that kind of environment. So this would actually allow us to keep the garden tractor, put it where it's most effective, save a lot of drive time with the mower that's out at the Sugar Creek plant. Sugar Creek's got about 2.5 acres. We have a large zero turn out there. This one's a little bit smaller just because of the tighter spaces at the water towers, and also we don't have as much to mow, and it fits on a trailer much easier. And it is small enough to put on a trailer that goes behind any of our service pickup trucks. We did get 2 bids, both local, we went to Howard's Lawn and Garden and Reynolds Farm Equipment, and Howard's was cheaper. The previous mower that we purchased was from Reynolds, so we have just been typically going with the lowest local bid, which is what I would prefer. And we do have Toros in the wastewater department, and they've been great mowers and do a great job. So I'm confident in the mower that we've selected and with the bidding process also. Any questions?
So we're holding on to all of our mowers, adding one to the fleet, hopefully be a little more efficient and not towing one around all the time, right?
Right, it'd just be, so we're not either taking it on 65 or 52 or, all the way on Witt Road. And like I said, we can also mow at the same time if we know it's going to be raining in the next 3 or 4 days. In the springtime, sometimes we're mowing 2 or 3 times a week. We don't have to wait for one place to get done mowing, load up the tractor, or load up the mower, bring it into town, mow there. We can be mowing at both plants, get it all done in one day, and that way we can beat any inclement weather that's going to come in and put us behind. And I like mowing in town toward the weekend, because I like for the plant to look and everything to look good for the weekend if people are out and driving around and in their backyards and stuff. I like for everything cosmetically to look good at all times, but specifically in the weekend when people seem to be out and about a little bit more.
And it probably goes without saying, but we take care of these mowers, we service them, we keep them cleaned up, right?
Oh, yeah, so the garden tractor is over 10 years old that we're still going to use. It used to be before we had a truck with a plow on it in the water department. That's what we would use at the Sugar Creek plant to plow off all the drive, and which there was sometimes when I got done, where I started had already blown back over. But we've used that, and we still have those attachments and we use that garden tractor if we need to do, we have a snow blower now, but if we needed to do sidewalks or anything small like that, we could still use that. But yeah, we keep them, service them, keep them up to date, and really the only issues we have is just age with some of the mowers. The last mower we had before we purchased this one was a hand-me-down from the wastewater plant that they had upgraded, and we actually took that mower. So we try to keep them as long as possible. And we, like I said, with having them local, we have all the service work done at Howard's or at Reynolds Farm Equipment, so their turnaround time is very, very fast, very efficient. We have confidence in both their service departments. Yeah, we do, the guys do a good job of taking care of all the equipment that we have for sure.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Anything else for Ryan? All right, I'd entertain some motions on this item.
I make a motion, we approve the purchase of the Toro Titan 52-inch, 24.5 horsepower lawnmower from Howard's Lawn and Garden for a not-to-exceed price of $6,082.36.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Jim to purchase the mower from Howard's Lawn and Garden for the Water Wastewater Department for a not-to-exceed amount of $6,082.36. Any other discussion? All right, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Next 3 items are resolutions, and our legal counsel, Jeff Jacob, will address each one separately. The first one is Resolution 2020-01, modifying water and wastewater construction standards.
Thank you. The first resolution, or all 3 of these resolutions, are recommendations for the city council to take action by ordinance. The first one, as mentioned, deals with updated water and wastewater third-party construction standards. So as has been this board's practice, I'll read the resolution. Whereas the City of Lebanon, Indiana owns and operates through its Utility Service Board a municipal utility known as Lebanon Utilities for the purpose of providing safe, reliable, and efficient water, wastewater services in and around the city. Whereas the utility has adopted and from time to time revised construction standards for public utility additions that have been privately constructed. Whereas in order to facilitate third parties constructing utilities for connection to the various systems and/or dedications to the utility, the City Council adopted Ordinance 95-7 approving certain utility construction standards for water, wastewater collection, and storm sewers. Whereas the revised water, wastewater utility construction standards reflect compliance with new laws, regulations, construction techniques, and technology advancements in order to ensure the operation of safe, reliable, and efficient utilities. Whereas the utility makes no recommendation related to storm sewer facility standards. Whereas the utility wishes to adopt new updated construction standards for public utility facility additions to the wastewater collection system and water systems that are privately constructed for connection to the water and wastewater and/or dedication to the utility. Whereas by adoption of the attached new water and wastewater construction standards, the previously adopted standards excluding stormwater through Ordinance 95-7 and any subsequent revisions should be superseded by those new water and wastewater standards approved herewith. Now therefore be it resolved that the Utility Service Board approves and recommends to the Common Council for the City of Lebanon as follows. A, the attached construction standards for privately constructed water facilities for connection to the utility's water system and/or dedication to the utility are hereby approved. The attached construction standards for privately constructed wastewater facilities for connection to the utility's wastewater system and/or dedication to the utility are hereby approved. The utility, C, the utility is instructed to maintain publicly accessible copies of the water and wastewater construction standards on file with the Office of the Utilities and City Planning Department. That D, that Ordinance 95-7 be revised to reflect the new water and wastewater construction standards, and as added after the copies that were distributed to the board, item E, all other elements of Ordinance 95-7 remain in effect were not in conflict with the attached new standards. The foregoing resolution was passed by the Lebanon Utility Service Board this blank day, February 2020.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Any questions for Jeff on this resolution?
I have a question. Would this resolution, Jeff, have to go before the Board of Works and Public Safety?
I do not believe so.
That's my...
Anything else for Jeff on this resolution, 2020-01?
Does the resolution have to be read twice, Jeff, at the city level?
The ordinance would be considered twice unless they would have a motion to amend their rules for second reading, or suspend the rules for second reading.
I think what Dan meant was, do you want to read that again?
Probably not.
Any other questions for Jeff on 2020-01 or discussion? All right, I'll entertain some motions on this resolution.
I move to approve Resolution 2020-1, modifying water and wastewater construction standards.
Second.
Motion made by Jim, seconded by Aaron to approve Resolution 2020-01, modifying water and wastewater construction standards. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Jeff. The next resolution is 2020-02, establishing renewable energy interconnection standards.
Thank you. This interconnection resolution in ordinance protects the electric utility system from interconnected renewable energy sources. Whereas the City of Lebanon, Indiana owns and operates through its Utility Service Board a municipal utility known as Lebanon Utilities for the purpose of providing safe, reliable, and efficient electrical services in and around the city. Whereas the board desires to encourage the development of all renewable resources such as solar, wind, and to promote the wise use of Indiana's natural energy resources to meet growing electricity demands. and it would be beneficial to allow customers of the utility to own or lease renewable electric generation systems to help offset the customer's electric load. Whereas the safety of utility workers and the general public requires inspection of testing of equipment arranged for the production of electricity from solar, wind, biomass, geothermal, hydroelectric facilities that are owned and operated by residential, commercial, or industrial customers of the utility and connected to the utility's electrical grid. Whereas the utility has determined that it is necessary to establish standards for the interconnection of such renewable generation facilities to the utility's electrical system. And whereas energy produced by customers owning or leasing renewable generation facilities in excess of the customer's electric load at that meter may be purchased from the Indiana Municipal Power Agency, subject to a power purchase agreement between IMPA and the customer. Now therefore be it resolved that the Utility Service Board approves and recommends to the Common Council for the City of Lebanon as follows. Section 1, a customer desiring to interconnect renewable generation facilities with the utility's grid for the purpose of offsetting the customer's electric load shall complete an interconnection application and submit the application to the utility for review. After receipt of the application, the utility shall conduct further inspection of the renewable generation facilities as utility deems necessary and approve or deny the application. If the application is denied, the utility shall provide a written response to the customer explaining why the application was denied. Section 2, if the interconnection application is approved, then the customer agrees that no changes shall be made to the configuration of the renewable generation facilities as that configuration is described in the application, and no relay or other control or protection settings specified in the application shall be set, reset, adjusted, or tampered with except to the extent necessary to verify that the renewable generation facilities comply with utilities approved settings. Section 3, in addition to such other requirements as the utility deems necessary, any renewable generation facility allowed to interconnect to the utility's grid must comply with A, the National Electric Safety Code and the National Electric Safety Code as may be revised from time to time, B, the utility's rules and regulations and the utility's general terms and conditions for electric service, each as contained in the utility's electric tariff, and each as may be revised from time to time, and C, all other applicable local, state, and federal codes and laws as the same may be in effect from time to time. Section 4, for any approved renewable generation facilities interconnected to the utility's grid, the customer shall install, operate, and maintain at the customer's sole cost and expense the renewable generation facilities in accordance with the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers applicable standards for interconnecting distributed resources with the electric power systems as it may be amended from time to time. The customer shall be responsible for protecting at the customer's sole cost and expense the renewable generation facilities from any condition or disturbance on the utility's electric system, including but not limited to voltage sags or swells, system faults, outages, loss of single phase of supply, equipment failures, and lightning or switching surges. Section 5, the customer shall operate any interconnected renewable generation facilities in such a manner as to not cause undue fluctuations in voltage, intermittent load characteristics, or otherwise interfere with the operation of the utility's electric system. At all times when the renewable generation facilities are being operated in parallel with the utility's electric system, the customer shall operate the renewable generation facilities in a manner that no disturbance will be produced to the service rendered by the utility to any of its other customers or to any electric system interconnected with the utility's electric system. The customer's control equipment for the renewable generation facilities shall immediately, completely, and automatically disconnect and isolate the renewable generation facilities from the utility's electric system in the event of a fault on the utility's electric system, a fault on the customer's renewable generation facilities, or loss of a source or sources on the utility's electric system. The automatic disconnection device included in such a control equipment shall not be capable of reclosing until after service is restored on the utility's electric system. Additionally, if the fault is with the customer's renewable generation facilities, such automatic disconnecting device shall not be closed until after the fault is isolated from the customer's renewable generation facilities. Section 6, upon reasonable advance notice to the customer, the utility shall have access to any interconnected renewable generation facilities to perform on-site inspections to verify that the installation and operation of the renewable generation facilities comply with the requirements of this resolution, and to verify proper installation and continuing safe operation of the renewable generation facilities. The utility shall also have at all times immediate access to breakers or any other equipment that will isolate the renewable generation facilities from the utility's electric system. The utility shall not be responsible for any costs the customer may incur as a result of such inspections. The utility shall have the right and authority to isolate approved interconnected renewable generation facilities at the utility's sole discretion if the utility believes that A, continued interconnection and parallel operation of the renewable generation facilities with the utility's electric system creates or contributes to a system emergency on either utilities or the customer's electric facilities. B, the renewable generation facilities are not in compliance with the requirements of this resolution. Or C, the renewable generation facilities interfere with the operation of the utility's electric system. In non-emergency situations, utility shall give the customer reasonable notice prior to isolating the renewable generation facilities. Section 7, customers shall procure and keep in force during all periods of parallel operation of the renewable generation facilities with the utility's electric system, homeowners, commercial, or other insurance to protect the interests of the utility is named insured with the insurance carriers acceptable to the utility in amounts not less than those reasonably determined by the utility to be necessary, taking into consideration the nameplate capacity, configuration, and type of renewable generation facilities. The customer shall indemnify and hold harmless the utility, City of Lebanon, its employees, representatives, agents, and subcontractors from and against all claims, liability, damages, and expenses, including attorney fees based upon any injury to any person, including loss of life or damage to any property, including the loss or use thereof arising out of, resulting from, or connected with, or that may be alleged to have arisen out of, resulting from, or connected with an act or omission by the customer, its employees, agents, representatives, successors, or assigned in the construction, ownership, operation, or maintenance of the customer's renewable generation facilities. If the utility is required to bring an action to enforce its rights under this section of the resolution, either as a separate action or interconnection with another action, and said rights are upheld, the customer shall reimburse utility for all expenses, including attorney fees, incurred in connection with such action. Section 8, if a customer owning or leasing a renewable generation facility produces more energy from such facility than the customer's electric load at that meter, then the excess energy shall be purchased from the customer by IMPA pursuant to the terms of a separate power purchase agreement between the customer and IMPA. Section 9, it shall be unlawful for any person or entity to connect or maintain the connection of a renewable generating facility to the utilities grid without obtaining the utility's approval of an interconnection application. Any person or entity found to be in violation of this section shall be fined any person or entity found to be in violation of this section may be fined not less than $500 nor more than $2,500 for each such violation plus costs. Stepping out of the reading, as a note, we corrected that section to, corrected that sentence to, from shall to be may at the board's direction during the working session. In addition to the foregoing fines, and at the utility's sole discretion, property where a renewable generating facility is unlawfully connected to the utility's grid may be disconnected from the utility's grid until an interconnection application is approved. Every day that a violation of this section occurs shall constitute a separate offense. The foregoing resolution was passed by the Lebanon Utility Service Board this 5th day of February 2020.
All right, thank you, Jeff. That, again, is Resolution 2020-02, establishing renewable energy interconnection standards Are there any questions for Jeff or general discussion on this resolution before we move to the third one?
I have another question is, should that be brought before the Board of Works and Public Safety on this one as well?
Bill, as you asked the question earlier, on each of these resolutions, I don't believe so, but I will defer to the city attorney. If he so directs, I'll appear and present to any three of the resolutions to either of the board.
It's just a question.
Yeah, in the past, resolutions like this have not gone to the Board of Works, but I will investigate that further. I don't believe that's the case,
Okay.
but it may be, and if so directed, I'll present to the City Council, Board of Works, and Safety Board as
All right.
directed.
All right, anything else on this resolution? No. If not, I'll entertain some motions.
I make a motion, we move to approve Resolution 2020-02, establishing renewable energy interconnect standards.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Dan to approve Resolution 2020-02, establishing renewable energy interconnection standards. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. The third and final resolution is Resolution 2020-03, establishing the electric utility construction standards. And if Jeff is ready, then he can go.
Thank you. As mentioned, this is a resolution for the board's consideration that reaffirms our compliance with the National Electric Safety Code for our electric system, but it also goes a step further beyond the National Electric Safety Code and it discourages and prohibits subsurface transformers. Whereas the City of Lebanon, Indiana, owns and operates through its Utility Service Board a municipal utility known as Lebanon Utilities for the purpose of providing safe, reliable, and efficient electric service in and around the city. Whereas the utility wishes to adopt certain construction standards for electric utility facilities. Whereas the utility wishes to affirm that the National Electric Safety Code governs the construction of electrical facilities. Whereas the utility wishes to eliminate submersible transformers from its system in order to ensure the operation of safe, reliable, and efficient utilities. Now therefore be it resolved that the Utility Service Board makes the following findings, which collectively and individually support its recommendation to the Common Council for the City of Lebanon as follows. A, National Electric Safety Code governs the construction of electrical facilities as the nationally recognized standard within the Lebanon Utilities electrical system. B, subsurface transformers as part of an underground electrical distribution system present a safety hazard to operational personnel. C, subsurface transformers and related equipment are more difficult to purchase and locate because pad-mounted equipment has become the accepted and preferred standard within the industry. D, because of the nature of being below ground, subsurface transformers are less reliable and more expensive to construct and maintain than pad-mounted equipment. E, subsurface transformers should not be installed anywhere within Lebanon Utilities' electric system. And F, Lebanon Utilities should strive to replace any subsurface transformers existing within the Lebanon utility system. Foregoing resolution was passed by the Lebanon Utility Service Board this blank day of February 2020.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Again, that was Resolution 2020-03, establishing the electric utility construction standards. Any questions for Jeff or general discussion on this resolution?
Our electric operations manager has communicated with his counterpart at Boone REMC, and they are in agreement on these standards, that Boone REMC will apply the same standards as indicated here. I think that will make it easier for some customers in the future who, in annexed areas who are served by Boone REMC, there won't be any conflict between the electrical standards.
Okay. Anything else for this resolution? If not, I'd entertain some motions.
Make a motion, we move to approve Resolution 2020-03, establishing the electrical utility construction standards.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Aaron to approve Resolution 2020-03, establishing the electric utility construction standards. Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Jeff. Next item is approval of the claims. Everyone had a chance to review the claims? Any questions or corrections on the claims?
Move we approve the payment of the claims.
Second.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Jim to approve the claims. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item is other business that may come before the board. Does anybody have any other business tonight?
No.
No other business noted tonight for the board. Any comment from the public tonight? No public comment tonight. Looks like the next board meeting scheduled for Wednesday, February 19th, 5 p.m. And if there's nothing else this evening, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Dan to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thanks, everyone. We stand adjourned.